This is where the fun begins, Savick.
Hello everyone, I want to thank all my new subscribers and say welcome aboard. Oh, and thanks to all my longtime subscribers too. I want to make a comment reply video to what is probably my most popular video, the Grissom flight recorder. I've been doing flight recorders since the 90s. They are great for some of the research I do on Star Trek. Now I do them by having the scenes related to the ship by episode or movie. But back when I did this on VHS, it would be done by the area of the ship, like the bridge or engineering section. VHS is a lot harder because I'd have to wait for the episode to come on many times to edit out the parts that did not relate to the ship. Now I just cut it by the episode, and I use a video editor to cut it down to the part of the ship I want to study. I do have a lot of other videos, including my theory videos, which really is what this channel is all about. Next, I want to publish my Janolan flight recorder, but what I really want to do is get back to theory videos. I have another idea for a video on Star Trek V, which I already have 2 videos on. The first one is also my first video and is about how they got to the center of the galaxy so quickly. The next one will be about how maybe it took too long to get there. In that video, I would trace their trip across the ship. Today I'll be looking at my Grissom flight recorder video comments. I've been getting a lot of good comments. If you want me to grow, please check out my other videos. I would really like to make more videos, but it's hard while working a full-time job. If you really want to help me, please subscribe to my other channel, Quasar Productions. I just published a pilot episode for my first series, Captain's Log Galactic Police. I'll leave a link to the playlist for the first episode in the description. Now, I will not pretend that it's the best sci-fi series ever made, but I think that I laid some good foundations. The format is new, so if I get enough subscribers, I will be using the first season to experiment and get the craft down. So please, only look at this as a foundation and not the end product. It is what I could do with a $0 budget. Bufus Turbo 92. Me, first watching this scene. Raise your shields, you muppet. Me watching this scene for the gazillionth time. Raise your shields, muppet. Congratulations, Ensign. You've been assigned to the Oberth class ship. Ensign, I hereby resign my commission. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of... And I know there's a comment somewhere on the actually on the screen there. Blue Monkey Ball 67 pretty much sums up what these comments are. The Oberth class is the Ford Pinto of Starfleet. Comment, which is just talking about how quickly the ships get destroyed. As a Starfleet cadet, I would never serve in a Miranda or Oberth class ship. They are coffins with nacelles. I would steal the shuttle and warp to the nearest pirate syndicate I could find to join them. Hell, I'll take my chances with the criminals. Actually, that's funny that you should mention pirates. I wouldn't want to be on his ship. So, by the book, he'd ask Starfleet if he could take a leak and a dump at the same time. I don't know. Space is the final frontier, and to search out new places and new life forms. Just don't stand next to a man in a red uniform. They're all wearing red. Get me off this ship. Do regulations allow that? That's a Joseph. Oh, it's the taking a leak and dump one. How about California class? Captain Espan is an example of when going by the book gets you dead. Walter Mondale of Starfleet. Yeah, he was the Democratic candidate of 1984, I believe. He is the one who famously torpedoed his own campaign when he said, "Reagan and I will both raise your taxes. The difference is I'll tell you about it." Oh, here's one that I remember seeing coming up. Channel 98.8 on your No, I gotta read this right. Channel 98.8 on your subspace dial, all coded messages all the time. Watching this over again, Starfleet should have had a heavy cruiser nearby enforcing an exclusion zone. Another example of Starfleet faulty future reasoning. True enough. Actually, the ship itself should have an escort. Send the starship. Oh wait, not the Enterprise, I guess, huh? I had to do that dig because at the time she's decommissioned. Use less explodium in the construction. That's another version of calling it Pinto. You could call it the Explodium comments. This is where the fun begins. No, the fun will be a little later, but you might not appreciate it. Neither your father. Oh, we're referencing to when he dies. You killed my sons, you Klingon bastards! Captain Esteban, playing it by the book, ironically saves Spock, who then saved the planet Earth in the next movie. By extension, Esteban saved Earth. Sarcasm. Actually, that is funny. And by the books got them killed, but at the same time, by the books saved Spock's life and thus saved Earth. Captain's chair is pink. Good point. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Grissom was a one-hit wonder. Okay, that's funny. I think this movie is really underrated. I cringe when people say the odd number movies were bad. Yeah, pretty much the exception to the argument. There is something interesting about how this film is. I mean, I think it's being between 2 and 4, which are really good movies, makes it look a little bit more lackluster. 4, of course, I don't think I've mentioned this, but 4 is the first Star Trek movie I ever saw. And 5 being the second, as it was out in theaters at the time. So you know how long I've been doing Star Trek. At the time, I think when you had just 3 movies go by, people noticed the first one was bad, the second one's great. Wait a minute, the third one's not as good as the second one. Not being as good, it does not mean you're bad. It just means it's a little lower on the rank, but still well within entertaining territory. A Birth-class ship was equipped with a new hull, composite material known as Explodium, which was a failed predecessor to what would be later developed as abbreviated armor. That's a little outside my zone. If you've seen my introduction video, I only do TOS, TNG in the first 6 movies. There's a few times I've gone outside of that zone, but that's my canon. That's what I take as canon. You know, enjoy your canon as you want. I just have mine. And I would like to make a video explaining that, but that would be a whole nother video. Going through the story of how I started Star Trek to how I got to where I am today. Awesome looking ship. Shame it didn't get more screen time. I mean, not this ship, but the model is. And I'm almost tempted to get every Oberth through TNG, I guess I'd have to say. And, you know, make flight recorders for all those. Have like a complete Oberth flight recorder. The one I really would look forward to is the one from Hero Worship. The one they found the boy on, who ends up wanting to be Data. Who hasn't wanted to be a robot as a kid? Our graphics on Google Earth in 2020 look better than our scans of the planet in 2285. Okay, Star Trek apologist hat. Google Earth is made for civilian use. This is a military thing. Just needs to give us the basic information. Doesn't need to be Google Earth. Okay, apologist hat off. Oberth class was so damn fragile. Someone on a passing ship could sneeze, and the Oberth would suffer a warp core breach. Okay, that's funny. Stand by to beam down. Aye, sir. Energizing now. Hey, I said stand by, damn it. Yeah, you did like to say stand by a lot. I just watched the whole thing too, so. Stand by for evasive. Dies. Actually, Darth Helmet. You gotta put Darth Helmet up. I gotta do that. I have to do that. I do have that movie in my repertoire. You take a helmet of him saying, stand by for evasive. And then you have Darth Helmet saying, stand by. Why are you always standing by? And then the ship blows up.
Stand by for evasive. What are you preparing? You're always preparing. Just go.
Aren't trees and plants life forms too? Never understood that about this scene. Okay, we don't need the apologist hat. They're talking about non-plant life forms a lot of times when they say life forms. They know that plants are life forms, but they are looking for something that's not a plant. 58 seconds. This is where the fun begins. It was in Star Trek 3. It was in Star Wars 3. Anakin used it better though. Oh yeah. I'm not a fan of the prequels either. I mean, I like the original trilogy. I actually have the despecialized edition, which I highly recommend. I'm thinking about the 4K 77 and 83, although to download it says you need 90 gigabytes, and my only concern is, does it take up 90 gigabytes on my hard drive, or is that just to do the downloading? I seem to like ship's graphics and design better than the current ones. True enough. Only the finest peak salmon seats. Sorry, Corinthian leather is not available on this base model. Okay, car joke. Most incompetent bridge crew and captain in Starfleet history. What happened to automatic deflector shields? Yeah, deflector shields are not always going to protect you from being hit. They're more about projectiles. Sometimes they can. There was one episode where automatic deflectors came up and protected them, but it's still, shields are better. What's the difference? Shields are actual protective, while deflectors are more about pushing debris out of your way. I always thought the Oberth class looked a tad ugly. As James T. Kirk once said, blast regulations. Stand by for evasive. Sir, do you want me to raise shields? No, only if they charge weapons. The sequence was originally going to be the opening scene of the film, hence the Stardate title card. Quite possible. They could have moved it though. Kind of funny when you see that everyone on the ship is basically a red shirt. Yeah, but at this point everyone in Starfleet was a red shirt. We almost had forgotten when we first saw the Saavik and hearing Saavik saying, we have to find out what it is, or who. Then that soundtrack fading in. What sort of hope and curiosity it caused in all of us. We hoped it would be Spock, but we saw him dying for sure. The tension was palpable. Such a great Trek film. I don't know about hope. I mean, we knew this movie was about searching for Spock, so it's like not a really big spoiler. Love the Grissom. Okay, so I got one person who hated it, and then one person who likes it. Love the Grissom. Just a majestic looking hull design. Looks like the secondary hull is a body, and then the sail pylons are arms, and the saucer is a head. Looks like it's outreached in a noble type pose. Okay, and the Genesis planet equals, where you can pick up a Genesis 16-bit game console and games. Wow, talk about 16-bit console graphics. 23rd century with NES Sega graphics. Okay, actually it's funny too, because that reminds me of the Nintendo nerds. Hey, you want Genesis? You can have Genesis. Genesis console. Interesting how basically the theory was that a starship engines are away from the ship to prevent damage from the nacelles warping space. Here they're sitting atop and right alongside the Grissom saucer section. Of course, there's nothing on screen that ever says that. There are some books that say that, there are some fan theories, but never anything on screen, and I am a strict on-screenist. What I see on screen is the canon. Wait, he said, this is where the fun begins. Does that mean Star Wars stole some of Star Trek's lines? Another video concept of mine. I want to do 5 things that Star Trek did before Star Wars. And not even generally this line. There are a lot of concepts, a lot more concepts than you might want to think. Unfortunately not lightsabers that were used in Star Trek before they were used in Star Wars. Maybe that'll be a future video if I have the time. Wait, he said. No, I read that one. Why did the captain feel the need to say he was in command? I think Starfleet would remember they had given him a ship. Yeah, I don't know if that appreciates the context of the scene. Ship is the red shirt of Starfleet. Another Pinto joke. His evasive game was poor. I wish we got to see the science vessel Gillian Taylor get assigned. I wish we got to see the science vessel Gillian Taylor got assigned to at the end of Star Trek 4. different movie, but I really wish he could have come back. In fact, I almost think they would have to do a whole plot of them going back in time to get more humpback whales because, well, you know, 2 humpback whales and their progeny is not a very solid base of population for humpback whales. Which is another apologetic, how they fit 2 adult humpback whales onto that small of a ship. Pity we couldn't see the late Leonard Nimoy to have regenerated him. Okay, I agree. I wish we still had Mr. Nimoy. I would have loved to see Kirk in command of that Oberth. Oh yeah. It would have been over. He would not have been saying, stand by, stand by, stand by. Which I guess they get that from Star Wars. Keep saying stand by. And I always found that funny. They just kept on saying stand by. It's like, wait, what are you standing by for? I mean, are you waiting for the station to blow up? Transporter room, stand by to energize. Aye, sir, energizing now. Transporter room. I didn't say it to do it. You're fired. Also, OMG, PogChamp isn't the same as Raise the Shields. Worst captain and crew in Starfleet. PogChamp. I guess that must mean prepare for evasives. I love how the first appearance of the Grissom used a slightly updated version of the incidental music they used when showing the Enterprise approaching or orbiting a planet in TOS, which itself was based off the TOS opening theme tune. True. Now, only now do you... Okay, I gotta put on my best Emperor voice for this. Only now do you realize... Only now do I realize they named the Grissom after Gus Grissom, one of the Mercury 7 astronauts. Actually, while he was one of the Mercury 7, I think it's more his relation to the Apollo 1 mission in which he died in honor of him, which I feel like somebody mentions that you're honoring a guy who died by blowing his ship up with 5 minutes of screen time. A few more. You tug your tunic nicely, but you, sir, are no Picard. I miss the Art Deco ship of the film era. Grissom was a classy design. Lacked a deflector, but still terrific. Captain Esteban does a Picard maneuver with a shirt tug. The Picard maneuver, before it was the Picard maneuver. No one knew because Esteban didn't survive. Star Trek 3 is a masterpiece. I rank it 3rd best Star Trek movie of all time behind 4 and 2. Did he mean 6? Because IV is 4. VI is 6. Although I have to say 4th, which is sad because it puts it as the last of the good movies, because the next one is 5 and then 1. I did reply, but how long? It was only a week ago. I love this movie. I rank 4 as 3rd best, but that is the first movie I saw. Yes, even though it's the first movie I saw and the one that got me addicted to Star Trek 4, it is not my best. I have to admit 2 and 6 are better. Of course, when I first became a fan, Star Trek 5 was just out in theaters, and then I'd go years before 6 comes out. Amazing content. I don't know if you're being sarcastic in that, but thumbs up anyways. He and Heath sure look alike. Okay, I was just having Heath as David, but both actors are dead, unfortunately. The birth-class ship Grissom is made out of explodium. Another Pinto comment. Your birth-class starship or elaborate coffin. Alright, I guess I've had a lot of comments I've read. I'm pretty sure this video is going long enough. Let's see how long we are. yeah, this video has gone long enough. Thanks for watching. Again, in the comment sections, please see the link to my new channel, playlist of my new series. Don't go in expecting it's going to be better than Star Trek or Star Wars. Just go in thinking, is this a good foundation for a series that needs improvement? I know it needs improvement. I've actually got a list of things that I need to change. I've got scripting ideas. I got expanding on descriptions. I want a lot of things I'm going to do to improve the quality. So please go ahead, watch the whole thing. I would encourage a subscription. If this channel takes off, I will definitely be posting more videos here. I will be posting a few more flight recorders, definitely, and I hope to get another theory video out, but I really need your support on my other channel too. I appreciate your subscription here, or if you're a newcomer, thank you for that too. But I appreciate it all. You're all wonderful. Thank you very much for tuning in, and maybe I'll do another one of these if it gets popular enough.